Steve Jobs, who's been called America's modern-day Thomas Edison, the man who changed the world with Apple computers, iPods, iPhones, and more, resigned suddenly late today. ABC's Neil Karlinski has followed Steve Jobs in all things Apple for years. And Neil, the timing of the letter was a surprise, but Jobs has been battling cancer for years.
George, you're right. He's had very serious health problems for years, but he's also been intensely private about them. Let's face it, this is no normal CEO. From the iPhone to the iPad, this is a man who has been changing all of our lives and literally reshaping the future around us. The announcement came with no notice and little detail. Steve Jobs, the creative force not only behind Apple, but behind much of the new technology that's changing our world, has resigned. In a letter to Apple's board of directors, he writes, "I have always said if there ever came a day when I could no longer meet my duties and expectations as Apple's CEO, I would be the first to let you know. Unfortunately, that day has come." At the helm of Apple, Jobs has been a creative force who changed the music business with the iPod, revolutionized the phone business with the iPhone, and introduced a whole new category of computing with the iPad, the fastest-selling technology device ever. He beat a rare form of pancreatic cancer in 2004. In 2009, the world learned he actually needed a liver transplant, a fact he kept under wraps until after the procedure. Few companies' fortunes are as closely tied to their CEO as Apple, but all of that is in question now. He almost never grants interviews, but spoke with us the day he announced the first iPhone in 2007. Are you worried that you reach a point where there isn't another killer piece of hardware to come out with to wow the world?
You know, again, we don't worry about stuff like that. We just try to build products that we think are really wonderful and that people might want. And sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. But I think we're going to hit a grand slam with this.
In his statement to the board of directors, Jobs also writes, "I believe Apple's brightest and most innovative days are ahead of it, and I look forward to watching and contributing to its success in a whole new role." Jobs will now be Apple's chairman of the board, although first reactions in after-hours trading have not been kind, where Apple's stock immediately dropped 6.1%.